I'm not sure how many of you have dealt with the row-level security stuff, but row-level security is part of Power BI for both on-premises as well as to the cloud. We're going to see the types of row-level security what we have, and I will take you through some of the options we have and also the demo. Thank you to our sponsors, Microsoft, PAS, and Daytube. Talking about myself, I am Dr. Subramani Paramasivam, in short Manny. I'm a data platform MVP, Power BI group leader, and also an MCT, and I work as principal solutions architect in Daytube UK. And I do speak in PAS Summit, SQL Beat, SQL Saturdays, Data Platform Summit, SQL Server Geek Summit, Microsoft Certified Trainer Summit, Data Day events, Data Awareness programs, SQL Relay, and there are so many other events that I keep frequently talking about. All of sort of technical aspects in terms of data science, SQL Server, Program R, analytics, BI, Power BI stuff, administration, and loads of things. So if at all you see any local events happening, then you may try and catch up with me. Usually I come to India in the month of August for the Data Platform Summit. If at all you're going to register there, then we can try and catch up there as well. And you can try and follow me and tweet, or you can send a message through my social media activities. So talking about data awareness program, this is also one of the other program events which I actually do. This is part of bringing awareness to non-technical people. So it could be parents, teachers, students mainly, and that's what Data AP is purely targeted for. Okay, so let's jump onto the row-level security. So what is row-level security? Here, I've given you three simple stuff. The end user who logs to the system and tries to access his or her report, they are seeing the report which extracts every single data. When the row-level security came into picture, the user can actually view their own specific data only. For example, if there is an organization where they have 100 managers and 1,000 employees, and each manager, they may have 10 or 15 or so employees, if they wanted to see a report of their team only, they can see and access their same report, one single report, and they will see only relevant data that belongs to them. This row-level security was also there prior to 2016, but it was like kind of customized, programmed stuff we had at that time. But from 2016 onwards, it has become an official stuff, and it is available for us to do by creating security policy and user profile table, and we can do loads of stuff. With Power BI, as it is now a super hit platform for everyone to build their BI, not just for technical people, but also for non-technical, business, management, every single level, they started using Power BI stuff. And they can also try and implement these in their Power BI platform. So you restrict the user access, and also you filter what is actually required, and you're making the report more secure to view only that specific data set coming from the same table rather than from the different data sets. So these are the three different types of row-level security that you can create to make it work with Power BI. The first one is the RLS on Power BI services. So I have a few more slides for you to understand what each information is going to cover. And the second one is on RLS on dataset. The third one is on the data source. So with the first one, you create a row-level security on a Power BI service, and you would connect a gateway, and you would create that one. With the second one, you would do that with against analysis services database. And the third one is you would embed the RLS within the SQL Server database. For that, you need to have SQL Server 2016 onwards. For the Power BI services, what we have here is we have Power BI desktop. We're obviously going to use DAX expression to filter out the rows, and we are going to embed the security in Power BI services itself. We are going to create and manage the roles and filter it based on the DAX expression, and we can view the report as created roles so that you can see and test for yourself that the relevant user can access only their one specific data, and obviously you can add a number of users part of the Power BI site. This is a simple flow for you to understand how the role-level security would work on a Power BI service. As you can see on the picture, so you have the database, you build a report with the Power BI desktop, and you publish in the Power BI cloud. The role-level security is configured with your Power BI desktop within the modeling, where you would find out the roles to create and manage it. And once you have it, you're going to deploy that report to your Power BI cloud version. Once you deploy it, you're going to manage it by adding the users to those specific roles. I'll show you a demo on this one, but I don't have the demo for the second or the third one, but I can explain you those stuff, how it can be configured. And this option is only available with the Power BI Cloud Premium services only. Not, I didn't mention premium service, but with any regular Power BI services that you have. But the same sort of adding up the Power BI users to these specific roles is not possible with the second option and the third option for the role-level security page. The second option is the role-level security on dataset itself. So in here, what we have is an analysis services database. My screen is still loading. Hang on for a second. Okay, so sorry. Here you would usually configure that with the username or the user principal name. You would make it available via the analysis services dataset models, and you can obviously connect it live. And you would be doing your roles in the analysis of this model, and then you would configure that into the Power BI desktop. And obviously you need to have your data gateway when you have your analysis services there. So this is the simple picture for you to understand where you would embed the role-level security. So you do the role-level security in the analysis services level, and you create a data gateway to the Power BI cloud, and you can obviously view the report based on the security of what you have created. And the third one, okay, so before we go, I have a simple understanding of how this would really work. Apologies for the smaller screen what we have here. So with the first bit here, what has been configured is, as you can see in the SQL Server Management Studio, there is a place where we actually configure the roles. So what I have is I have connected the analysis services models in the Management Studio. Okay, that's good. Thanks, Eric. Is it zoomed up fully? And with that, you have a membership option. So with that, I have the domain called SQLman, and I just have the connector name, just the username called SSAS connector. So I just configured that with that one. And once I have it, I do the same thing on the right side, where I configure on my app.powerbi.com. When I go into my data source settings, I then configure to say the username is the credentials of the previous one. So with the SQLman account. Systems are a bit slow zooming up. It can be totally zoomed out. That's fine. So we have the account that we have set up in both the sites. Then I log in with my account as mining@usqlman.com, which is part of the domain coming from usqlman.com, which then actually authenticates to the enterprise gateway that then allows me to log in back to the analysis services. So what this means is an end user who has got an app.powerbi.com account, a regular Power BI account, he does not have any analysis services account credentials or the domain credentials there. But as we configure both the sites with these gateway, they're able to access it via these. I'm going to the next slide. Okay, so with the RLS on data source, this is pretty much new from 2016 onwards, where you can create your own RLS for any databases. So this SQL Server username function is actually available from 2016 onwards. You have your filter function, you have your security policy, then you would create your own user profile table, then you can create your analysis services direct query with tabular models, and you would set up the roles accordingly. And you don't really need to have an analysis services to do the row-level security when you actually create it from the SQL Server database itself. You can try and write a report, a simple SQL Server reporting services, or a mobile report, or not the Power BI report I'm talking about. So any sort of things that you're trying to connect your applications to the backend database, you can simply create a row-level security with the security policy and user profile functions and filter functions that you're going to create there. But we are going to use that here as we are embedding row-level security at the database level, and then which is then fed to the SSA's analysis tabular. And obviously this is the same connection, same setup as the previous one, but we are doing the row-level security in the database rather than in the analysis services model. I hope you can differentiate between the datasets where you do it in the analysis services or in the database itself. Okay, so I'm going to take you through with few steps on how you can easily get these things done with the data source. So first step is to create a user profile table. So in a SQL Server, you would create a simple table which will have your local AD-based account credentials for each users who are going to access the report. And against them, you're going to create relevant ID numbers of a table. For example, if there is a large table which consists of each records and each records belongs to a specific region, for example, and then you can say which region should be seen by which particular user. That way you can easily configure in this particular table. Then you would create a filter function and then security policy. You're going to tie up this filter function and security policy once you've created that, and you would then finally close it up with a stored procedure. This is an optional one for you, but it is good if you can try and always execute via the stored procedure whenever you're trying to build the report or trying to call all of these data sets. In that way, you will have one point of control. Then the second option is to, not the option, second step is to go to the analysis services model. And in that, you can see in the properties and at the end, you have the direct query mode. This has to be set to on. Then in the third step, you're going to understand all of these relevant tables, and each relevant table will have proper relationship so that you can clearly extract the relevant data. So you would do a simple modeling of joining the tables here and there. Then as part of step 4, once you have created that model, you're going to simply feed in some DAX functions against your parameters, what are you trying to set there. So for example, here I have a key information of on what basis that I have to do the filter. So I'm choosing the columns called country, customer, region, stores, user profile, and transaction. And against each one of them, then I can then give is equal to country and relevant DAX functions so that we do the filters at this place. Then step 5, I'm waiting for the image to load, is to connect to the analysis services tablet model what you have created. Go to the connection, and you would have an impersonation info as impersonate account by default, which you need to change it to impersonate current user account, as shown in screen in the 6th point. So that's it. We are then good to go with the RLS on data source. So like I said earlier, I did mention that you can open up the analysis, the row-level security to point to the specific Power BI user, which you can do it online, but not for the report services on-premises version. So apart from that, you can do the data sets and data source for both cloud and on-premises. Okay, let's jump on to demo. The screen is sort of taking a bit to actually load. So the report, what we see at the moment is a simple to understand report where it has got a simple data set which has got sales territory and sales amount. So we have a simple pie chart created, and also we have a table of figures. Harry, if you drive, it's a bit slow for me here.
Okay. So here as part of row level security, we are going to modeling. Under modeling, we are going to see manage roles. So this is a place where we are going to create our roles, and when we create a role, we have to assign the users, which will be done in app.powerbi.com. So I'm going to manage roles. Here under roles, we have a role called Canada, and we have assigning some DAX filter expression, and we are filtering the data as that specific country. All right. And click save.
So as you can see here, the role name is called Canada. So this is what you would actually see when the report is deployed, and then you would give the users to the actual access to what they need to see. Similarly, you can create as many number of roles you want, and you can deploy it accordingly. Carry on.
Okay, click save, and we have to test that role whether that filter expression is accepting our filter. So click this view as roles. So you can see the created roles. So I can choose this specific role and click OK. So I can see the data has been filtered for Canada. So this is how we have to check whether the roles has been working. So once it has been verified, you can click stop viewing, and you can publish the report to the app.powerbi.com. Let us go to the portal app.powerbi.com. So once you have published, you can go to the dataset, and you can identify the report name, which is same as the dataset name. So I have a report here, country underscore sales underscore RLS import. So as we have created a report for both query mode, import and direct query. So let me go to datasets. Here this is a dataset. So under this dataset, you can see an option called security. Click security, and you can see an option that we have created, Canada role we have created. So under this role, we have to assign the users. So here we have assigned the user called Rajendran. All right, and you have to
say this is the place where you would actually tie up with the another Power BI user. So you can enter their email address, and once they have access to these Power BI stuff, they can then view the report as themselves. So Hari is going to jump onto another window which is logged in as Rajendran, and then he would be able to see what he's supposed to see.
Only Canada results that Rajendran user can see. So this is just a report with import query mode, and we have same version with direct query mode. So we have created a same report. So this time under modeling, we have created a role for United States, and we have published this report.
So just to give a quick brief, just in case if you're not aware of what is direct query or import mode. So when you say import, the data sets and everything is actually being imported into the Power BI file itself. So the Power BI file will have the definition of the stuff whatever you have created, like in reports, SSRS reports, we call it as RDL, which is report definition language. With the Power BI, it will have the report configured as well as the data sets embedded, everything into that. Whereas with direct query, every time you run the report, it comes directly from the actual data source wherever it is being configured.
Okay, here we have filtered for United States, and we are going to check that role as view roles, United States. Click OK. Yes, it has been filtered, and we are going to publish that into app.powerbi.com. And go to portal, go to workspace. So here you can see country underscore sales underscore RLS direct query. So as admin can see all the territory regions. So I'm going to assign that role to the user. So go to datasets and go to security tab. Sorry, I'm not getting that. Actually I have assigned already. So let me go here. I'm going to see that report with Rajendran user, I can see only United States. So we have configured this security, assigning the users to the roles already done. So I'm just showing the output.
So what you're seeing is kind of maybe confusing. On the top you see Canada and below you see United States. So this is a dashboard. Whatever has been configured is like kind of a report but taken from another report. So you can only concentrate on the bar chart what you have there, which is filtered via the actual United States, whatever has been done with the direct query mode. Okay, getting back to the slides. Any questions so far? Do you have any questions? You can type it on the window. If not, thank you so much. We will definitely get back to you with more information, and we will get the slide decks also uploaded and available in the Power BI user group site, and you can download it from there. If at all you have any other questions, feel free to drop us an email to info@daygeop.com. We will definitely get back to you. Like I said, it's not just with the any technical queries or aspects, but also with the other areas where you can try and enable you to have a good career or a new career with Power BI stuff. Thank you, everyone.